Did you know that approximately every third serial killer in the world is an American? A chilling fact to start our journey into the dark world of serial killers. These individuals, notorious for their heinous crimes, have left an indelible mark on history. We've combed through the annals of crime to bring you a countdown of the top 10 most infamous serial killers on record. From their chilling methods to their eventual capture, we'll delve into their sinister stories. Are you ready to delve into this macabre countdown? At number 10, we have David Berkowitz, also known as the Son of Sam, who terrorized New York City in the late 1970s. Born in Brooklyn, Berkowitz was an adopted child who grew up with fantasies of destructive power. His reign of terror spanned just over a year, during which he claimed the lives of 6 people and injured 7 others. His victims were often young women with long dark hair, and he used a .44 caliber bulldog revolver to carry out his horrific deeds. His taunting letters to police and the press generated widespread fear and panic. His capture in August 1977 brought relief to the city. Berkowitz was sentenced to 6 consecutive life sentences. Interestingly, while in prison, he claimed that he was part of a satanic cult, and his crimes were part of ritual sacrifices. A truly horrifying figure, wouldn't you agree? At number 9 on our list, we have Aileen Wuornos, a female serial killer who shattered many stereotypes. Born in Michigan, Wuornos endured a tumultuous upbringing marked by neglect and abuse. Her life took a dark turn when she became known as the Damsel of Death, claiming the lives of 7 men between 1989 and 1990. Her victims were all men who she claimed had either sexually assaulted or attempted to sexually assault her while she was working as a sex worker. Wuornos's method was brutal, yet straightforward. She shot her victims at point-blank range. The law finally caught up with her in 1991, thanks to a palm print at one of the crime scenes and the testimony of her former lover, Tyria Moore. Wuornos was sentenced to death and was executed by lethal injection in 2002. A tragic tale of a life gone horribly wrong. At number 8, we have Dennis Rader, also known as the BTK Killer. He terrorized Kansas for over 30 years. Born and raised in Wichita, Kansas, Rader led a double life. By day, he was a church president and a family man, but by night, he transformed into a ruthless killer. BTK, which stands for Bind, Torture, Kill, was a chilling moniker he gave himself, a cruel testament to his heinous modus operandi. Rader claimed the lives of 10 innocent victims, leaving a trail of fear and confusion in his wake. It was his own hubris that led to his downfall. He began sending letters to the police, taunting them, and it was one such letter that eventually led to his capture. He was sentenced to 10 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. Rader's story is a chilling reminder of how dangerous a seemingly ordinary person can be, isn't it? At number 7 on our list, we have Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, who brought fear to the heart of Los Angeles. Born in El Paso, Texas, Ramirez was known for his violent and sadistic tendencies. His reign of terror spanned from June 1984 to August 1985, during which he took the lives of at least 13 innocent people. The Night Stalker was infamous for his unpredictable modus operandi, breaking into homes under the cloak of night to assault and often murder his victims. His choice of victims was indiscriminate, ranging from a 9-year-old girl to an elderly couple, causing an unprecedented wave of fear throughout Southern California. But his reign of terror was not to last. His capture was as dramatic as his crimes. Recognized on the street from police sketches, he was chased down and held by a group of citizens until the police arrived. Ramirez was sentenced to death, spending his final days in San Quentin State Prison, a true embodiment of evil. At number 6 on our list, we have Jeffrey Dahmer, known as the Milwaukee Cannibal. He had a gruesome appetite. Born in Wisconsin, Dahmer was responsible for the horrific murders of 17 young men between 1978 and 1991. His nickname, the Milwaukee Cannibal, hints at his monstrous actions, as he was known to dismember his victims and engage in necrophilia and cannibalism. Dahmer's method of killing often involved luring his victims to his house with promises of money or companionship, only to drug them and commit his ghastly deeds. His reign of terror came to an end when one of his intended victims managed to escape and alert the police. Dahmer was sentenced to 16 life terms in prison, but was killed by a fellow inmate just 2 years into his sentence. A shocking tale of inhumanity, wouldn't you agree? At number 5 on our list, we have Ted Bundy, who was as charming as he was deadly. Hailing from Burlington, Vermont, Bundy was a law student with political ambitions, a handsome face, and a devastating secret. He was responsible for the brutal murders of at least 30 young women across several states in the 1970s. His modus operandi was as cunning as his personality. Bundy often feigned injury or disability to lure his victims, only to overpower them with his true strength. His reign of terror came to an end in 1978, when he was caught by the authorities after a traffic violation. Despite his heinous crimes, he managed to escape prison twice before finally being recaptured. The justice system was swift in its response, and Bundy was sentenced to death. He met his fate in the electric chair in 1989. Bundy's tale is a stark reminder that monsters can wear charming masks. At number 4, we have John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown, who hid a horrifying secret under his cheerful facade. Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, Gacy was a well-liked figure in his community, known for his charitable services at children's parties, where he would dress as Pogo the Clown. But beneath this affable exterior lurked a monster. Gacy was responsible for the brutal murders of 33 young men and boys. His method? He lured his victims with promises of construction work, or simply by impersonating a police officer. Then he would torture and strangle them, ultimately burying their bodies beneath his house. His reign of terror ended in December 1978 when he was arrested for sexual assault. However, during a police search of his house, the shocking truth of his heinous crimes surfaced. Gacy was found guilty and sentenced to death, meeting his end by lethal injection in 1994. Gacy's story is a nightmare come to life. At number 3 on our list we have Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, who holds a grim record. This man, born in Salt Lake City, Utah, has the highest confirmed victim count of any American serial killer. Over 2 decades, Ridgway preyed on the vulnerable, claiming the lives of at least 49 women, though he confessed to killing as many as 80. His victims were often young runaways or sex workers whom he strangled and discarded in forested areas around the Green River, earning him his chilling moniker. His reign of terror ended in 2001, when DNA evidence linked him to the murders. In exchange for cooperating with the police and leading them to the remains of his victims, Ridgway avoided the death penalty. Instead, he received 48 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Ridgway's tale is a chilling testament to the depth of human depravity. Second on our list today we have Alexander Pichushkin, known as the chessboard killer. He turned murder into a gruesome game. Born and raised in Moscow, Russia, Pichushkin was a man obsessed with chess. But his love for the game took a deadly turn when he decided to commit as many murders as there are squares on a chessboard. 64. He targeted mostly elderly homeless men, luring them with the promise of vodka before bludgeoning them to death. His reign of terror lasted from 1992 until his capture in 2006. The chilling part, Pichushkin was proud of his deeds, even going as far as marking each murder on his personal chessboard. After a swift trial, he was sentenced to life in prison, with the first 15 years to be spent in solitary confinement. Pichushkin claimed to have killed 63 people, but the authorities could only confirm 48. Pichushkin's story is a terrifying reminder of what a twisted mind can do. And finally, at number 1 on our list, we have the worst of them all, Harold Shipman, known as Dr. Death, who betrayed his patients' trust in the most horrifying way. Born in England, Shipman was a respected family doctor, but beneath the veneer of respectability, he was a cold-blooded killer. He is believed to have murdered over 200 of his own patients, making him one of the most prolific serial killers in history. His weapon of choice? A lethal injection of diamorphine, a powerful drug. He exploited his position of trust to administer these fatal doses, often targeting the elderly and vulnerable. His reign of terror came to an end in 1998, when a sharp-eyed coroner noticed a high death rate among his patients. Convicted for 15 murders, Shipman was sentenced to life imprisonment but took his own life in 2004. Shipman's tale is a chilling reminder that even those we trust can be deadly. So there you have it. We've journeyed through the dark world of serial killers, encountering some of history's most notorious figures. From the Son of Sam to Dr. Death, we've delved into their chilling stories, revealing their horrifying deeds and the justice that eventually caught up with them. Each tale is a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk within human nature. Which of these stories chilled you to your core? Thank you for joining us on this haunting journey. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe for more daily content. Until tomorrow, stay safe.